This is it. It all comes down to one race for the Gatorade Cup Series Championship. 37 races down, 11 chase races down. We start with 12 chase drivers. We're down to 5 now with a shot at the championship. This is race number 38, chase race number 12. A race which has produced 6 Gatorade Cup Series champions in the past. It will produce its 7th after 41 laps of action-packed racing here tonight. This is the Homestead Miami Speedway for the running of the Chevy 400. We will determine our 7th career Gatorade Cup Series champion here tonight. On the pole is the 75 of Steve Larker, 2's outside the 34 of Patrick Smith. Then 30 of Taylor Brown Price, 4th is Isaac Nichols, looking for an ending to his Gatorade Cup Series career in a good way, running out the top 5 TJ Henley, 2nd in points coming into this race. Then 6th we have Griffin Lynn, 7th Marcus Sacchi, 8th Andrew Miller, 4th in points Luke Rainey in 9th, and Steven Taylor 3rd in points rounds out the top 10. The rest of the field we have Dale Lightning to his inside Colton Yo. Then there's Nathan Stapleton with Cole Luigi, along with Mac Johnson and Jack Marshall. Then you have Jake West and Jeff Bright, along with Alexander Rowe and Carson Bowers. Then you have Diego Yepes with Levi Shones, along with Max Anderson and John Gambit. Then Danny Lloyd and Eli Bright, Larry Bouchard Jr. with Sebastian Kukulon. Then there's Justin Seidel and Steve Morgan, Jonathan Rains and Riley Sampson. Then Jonathan Buford, 2's outside Blake Petrus, making his first career Gatorade Cup Series start in the final race of the season. Then you have Jay Jefferson and Greg Lee, Benny Watson with Jake Galloway. They have Tyler Fink, and starting in the 39th position, points leader Carter Friesen has a 7-point margin coming into the race, but starting 39th, not where he needs to be to win this Gatorade Cup Series championship. Likewise, with the A3 of Louis Jack Tavo, he starts 41st. He has the slimmest shot at the championship, 11 points back. He needs to get up to the front in a hurry and hope that the 38 stays back here and to his outside another chaser at the 95 of Trey Rainey. That is the 42-car field for the start of the Chevy 400 at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Who will hoist the championship trophy in victory lane after 41 laps? We'll find out after 41 laps of this action-packed race, but first, to get going, let's go down trackside to get the command.
I'm Staff Sergeant Proto with the soldiers of the 1st Cavalry Division. Gentlemen, start your engines!
All right, everybody, just like what we talked about in the transporter, nice and easy. It's a long race, settle in. It'll be nice and smooth. Go out there and kick some butt tonight. This is your house. Let's prove it to them.
41 laps. Action-packed each time around this 1.5-mile oval. We will see which of the 5 drivers can hoist that championship trophy. Carter Friesen comes into this race with a 7-point gap. It seems like a lot, but when you start at the back and the driver 2nd in points, TJ Henley, starts 5th, and he's only 7 points back, that gap is not that big. And then you have Steven Taylor coming in, starts 10th, 9 points back. Luke Rainey starting 9th, 10 points back. Louis Jack Table starting 41st, 11 points back. Who will be crowned the Gatorade Cup Series season number 7 champion? We're about to find out. We're racing for the final time in the Gatorade Cup Series season 7 green flag at the Homestead Miami Speedway. As they come off a 4, lap 1 will be led by pole sitter Steve Larker, and they're looking 3 wide for 2nd. Marcus Sacchi looking to the bottom of TJ Henley and Taylor Ryan Price into turn 1. He gets a nose down there. He'll get by Hanley, who backs off. And Hanley really backed off there. A big loss of momentum there by the 23 as they come down the backstretch, though. See if Nichols can keep it down the bottom lane if he can fall back right here. As they go into turn 3, Marcus Sacchi with a huge run to the inside of the 75. He'll go. How about the momentum for the 41 Marcus Sacchi? A big lap 2 for that 41 team as Sacchi comes off the corner to lead lap number 2. That's a big move there by the 41 Marcus Sacchi. Great job there. Back here for 3rd, side-by-side Hanley and Isaac Nichols to the bottom. It's back the crossover at 75 of Steve Larker as they come down the backstretch. Side-by-side for that race lead. Hanley filters in 4th, trying to block that 15 Taylor Brian Price. He did that very nicely. So still side-by-side for that lead. Larker finally going to clear Marcus Sacchi as they look now for 3rd. TJ Hanley underneath Isaac Nichols. Down the front. Look at that 3 and 4 wide racing behind in the pack. This Homestead's definitely wide for it. We'll see if they can hold it like that, though. Once again, Sacchi back for the race lead. The front 3 pull away. Hanley got a little tight through 1 and 2 and drops back just a little bit as they come down the backstretch. Marcus Sacchi, going to grab it back from Steve Larker. I mentioned Isaac Nichols. This is his final career Gatorade Cup Series race. He's looking for a great ending to his career by winning here at Homestead. Right now looking to the inside of the 75. He's going to get by and grab 2nd as they come down the front stretch. So that pack right there, 3 and 4 wide. As Larker goes up the racetrack from the pole. Back to third. Now back to fourth as TJ Hanley moves underneath to grab third. Here comes Cole Luigi forward. He just got by Griffin Lynn. Luigi up inside the top 6. He's trying to run down these front 5 to have a shot. As they go through 3 and 4. Your front 5, Ford, Chevy, Toyota, Chevy, Chevy. It's right now at the front of the field, but we've only just completed 5 laps now. As Marcus Sachi continues to lead Isaac Nichols, Hanley with a great run up the middle lane, does clear for third, as look at that big run by Steve Larkin, but he slid up the racetrack tight there. Now a good entry into the corner for the 75. Luigi takes advantage to get to 5th now, as Griffin Lynn to 6th. So here comes Nichols getting a push from Hanley down the backstretch. That's for the lead. Isaac Nichols, his final career Gary Cup Series race, moves to the inside of Marcus Sachi, and through 3 and 4, Isaac Nichols, his final career Gary Cup Series race, the crowd on their feet. Nichols leads in the Chevy 400 at Homestead. How about TJ Hanley gets into 2nd right there, trying to slide in line. Sachi up the racetrack 3 wide. Cole Luigi coming forward, that's for 3rd. Taylor Van Price stuck to the middle lane. Griffin Lynn the 7 coming forward as well. See Patrick Smith the chaser coming forward as well as they come down this backstretch. But that for the race lead, TJ Hanley now on Isaac Nichols. Hanley just wants to get up front and lead every lap he can. He knows that this way he needs to do. He has to be up front and be your highest chaser at all times. I hope that 38 stays back there has some sort of issue. So as Hanley leads lap number 7, he's right now your highest chaser. We get 12 points. How about Cole Luigi? Big run for that 42 team. To the inside there for a second. He could be looking for the race lead now. Cole Luigi. This is probably statistically his best racetrack on the Gary Cup Series schedule. Here is now to 2nd. He has not won a Gary Cup Series race this season. He's looking for his first. It'll be the first time since season number 3 a person named Cole Luigi has not won a race. What does season 3 have in common with maybe season 2 and season 1? Did not have a driver named Cole Luigi racing. Luigi, every season he's raced since his rookie season, has won a race. Much like Luke Rainey in the 2, who's starting to come forward. Rainey has been in the Gary Cup Series a driver since season number 3. He's won at least 1 race each season. Much like Luigi, no win this season. That's much like season 2 and season 1, a season which Luke Rainey was not a driver in the Gary Cup Series. Rainey was starting to make his way forward, but dropped back there. 9 laps down at Homestead. We've been caution-free so far, but they're racing hard back in the pack. And up here for a second, they're racing hard as well. Marcus Sachi has moved to the inside of TJ Hanley, trying to make that position up. But Hanley with a great run off the middle lane, trying to get cleared down the backstretch. He did pull a little bit there. Sachi using that bottom lane run. Keep it beside him. As they go through 3 and 4, Marcus Sachi going to try and clear for a second here. And they're going to try and slot in line possibly in 3rd as Nathan Stapleton, the 27, coming forward. And back there, look at that. Yepez coming forward. Larry Bouchard Jr. Some big moves being made. Stapleton got to the inside of the 23 right there. A little tight up the racetrack though. Hanley gives that to his advantage, trying to get clear as they come off turn number 2. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it though. And Stapleton does a great job down the backstretch, keeping it underneath that 23. Hanley barely cleared by the nose of the 27, but moves back to the inside. And now for the lead, Marcus Sachi. To the inside of Cole Luigi. 30 laps of racing to go at Homestead. Side by side to the stripe. I think Sachi may have led it by a nose. They do give it to that 41. He slides up. Luigi can't take advantage and will fall back to 2nd. And once again, this battle for 3rd still raging on. Stapleton and TJ Hanley, none have gained the advantage. They stay side by side for now down the backstretch. And they're 4 wide further back in the pack. Jack Marshall, Patrick Smith, Luke Rainey. That's 3 chasers, 4 wide. How about Larry Bouchard Jr. going for 3rd now in the 17 car? Big run for him. Bouchard with that burst of energy there. Going to try and move to 3rd. Hanley going to try and keep it down on the bottom lane. Once again, a great run. He's going to get to the outside of the 17, Bouchard Jr. Let's see if he can use that to his advantage. Cole Luigi back for the race lead. Andrew Miller 3 wide for 3rd. Here comes Nichols from the middle lane. He'll emerge as they come down this backstretch. Looking to see Carter freezing. He is ahead of Steven Taylor at this moment. I believe that's the only chaser he is ahead of. So Cole Luigi through 3 and 4. Going to try and clear Marcus Sachi, and he will. Andrew Miller's moves way up to 3rd. Isaac Nichols in the 48 looking 3 wide for 3rd. But he gets halted on the bottom lane, a little tight down low there. As TJ Hanley to the middle lane now trying to make that work. He'll be forced 4 wide for 3rd. Taylor and Price to the bottom lane. Nichols, Miller, and Bouchard. They are 4 wide down this backstretch, so it's close there. Nathan Stapleton and John Gant making it 3 wide back there. So they're going to try and hold it. As they go through 3 and 4. Look at the run for TJ Hanley to the middle lane. That's where he wants to be. Miller, Bouchard Jr. fall back. As for the lead again, they're side by side. 17 bounces off the outside wall hard. Man, look at that. 41-42. They seem pretty equal right now on the racetrack. They seem like they can both just do the same things each other does. And my gosh. And with no caution coming out at this moment, I just want to point out that pit stops will be happening under the green flag if they make it to that point. These drivers are anywhere from 12 to 15 laps short on fuel. So that will come into play on who can possibly win this championship. Pit strategy will be at play here tonight at Homestead. As the front few get clear single file, it's Marcus Sachi, Cole Luigi, Isaac Nichols, John Gambit, And now Yepes going for 5th, and the 1 car is up front for the lead again. Luigi, Yepes' teammate, to the inside of the 41 as they come down the backstretch. So all that shuffling around back there. There he can move. Eli Bright coming forward in the 88. I see him down the bottom lane. Exalta, red number Exalta car. As Cold Luigi's back out front now in the 42. Look at them, 4 wide back there. Jack Marshall bounced off the outside while in the 22. He'll drop back. Lynn got tight down the bottom lane. Zeidel's going to try and get clear in the 20. How about TJ Hanley still fighting in that middle lane? He's not giving up. Look at the run he got through 1 and 2 on the middle. Can he clear Zeidel? That's what he needs to do right here. He has to get clear, get down to the bottom lane, and he does. Hanley is clear right now. That was a big burst of momentum that 23 got that started off of turn number 4. They look back up to the race lead. Cole Luigi leading as they're 3 right behind. John Gambit, Isaac Nichols, Marcus Sacchi coming forward. How about Steve Morgan as well? We're getting towards halfway. And maybe, once we get towards halfway, does anyone dare short pit? Does anyone, like Carter Friesen, because remember, Friesen is towards the back of the field. I don't know if he's made up any progress. There he is. He is ahead of a few drivers. Only one of them is a chaser, that's Steven Taylor. Does Carter Friesen dare try and short pit here and gain some track position? If he takes tires sooner, he'll be faster. And try and gain some positions. Try and leapfrog some of the other drivers. You try and undercut. Because right now, the driver second in points, the driver closest to Friesen in points, TJ Hanley, is up here battling as right now the highest chaser, I believe. He does have some chasers near him, though, like Jack Marshall, Griffin Lynn, that could change that. So come down the backstretch. And you have Jack Marshall, Griffin Lynn here. But then your next chaser's back there with like Trey Rainey and Danny Lloyd. I don't know if they're going to be able to get up to where Hanley is before pit stops happen. So you pass up against the wall now. He's going to get into it hard as they come off turn 4. Keeps up against the wall, though, and doesn't come down. How about Eli Bright? This chase has been wonderful for Eli. The last 11 races, he's gotten 2 wins. He has 3 wins this season. Tied for the most. Can he now get to victory lane for a 4th time this season? Would be like the 3rd time in the last 5 races, I think. Eli's been on fire lately in the chase. If only he had made the chase, could he possibly have been a threat for the championship? Up there, John Gambit on Marcus Sacchi for the 2nd position as Jack Marshall moves around TJ Hanley to be our highest chaser. So they're side by side for a 2nd. Gambit and Marcus Sacchi. And then 4th place, Steve Morgan. 5th place, Zeidel trying to close in. They have 2 teammates, Nichols and Eli Bright. And then back here, Jonathan Buford, TJ Hanley, Jack Marshall, Griffin Lynn, all in a cluster. As we're coming to 20 laps of racing to go. These are the final 20 laps of the Gary Cup Series season. Who will come out on top of the championship? And will pit stops decide who wins this championship? John Gambit. Going to try and grab 2nd still. As Steve Morgan, how about Zeidel looking 3 wide? Coluigi continues to lead. 20 laps to go in the season. And another thing, where at Homestead, cars wants to go forward, they like to get into the outside wall. Have any chasers hit the outside wall and damage their car on the right side to where they will take the time to repair that damage and spend time on pit road to where they might lose spots to Carter Friesen. That could also play into it. As they go through 3 and 4, Zeidel a little tight down low. Gambit's going to finally emerge in the middle lane to get to 2nd. It's been a few laps of struggle for him. How about the field how spread out's been? I think someone may have had an issue in the middle of the field. They've dropped back. Or someone just got tight on the inside and really slowed up the field. Like Zeidel's doing right now. Zeidel really getting tight down low. He just lost a few spots there. And Steve Morgan fighting back on the outside. So pit stop happening in the next few laps. Be prepared for that. Carter Friesen, I believe, is making his way forward just a little bit right here in the 38 car. He is now ahead of the 2 car of Luke Rainey. He has Alexander Rowan from him. How about Steven Taylor, though? Looked like he was going to be out of the pack, but here he is now fighting back. Riley Sampson, the 18, into the outside wall for him. What the damage to that 15 temporary price, they're definitely going to repair that. Well, he's not a chaser, so that will not impact chase points. Carter Friesen up the track. Luke Rainey, Steven Taylor. Taylor going to try and get by. As up front, all Cole Luigi's led since he got to the race lead. He's not been touched since. But Marcus Sacchi is now closing again. These two have been battling since the start of the race. Here they are once again battling as they come off of 4. 17 laps to go at Homestead. Who's going to start green flag pit cycles? As Sacchi to the inside of Cole Luigi for the race lead through 1 and 2. A little tight there. Allows Gambit and Nichols to close in. That was a great run by the 77 and the 48. Look at them 4 wide back there in the pack just inside the top 10. Griffin Lynn making a move with a push from Jack Marshall. Eli Bright and Zeidel in the middle of it. They're going to sort to 3 wide. TJ Henley trying to get through on the bottom lane. He's trying to get back up inside the top 10. He wants to get away from those drivers that are starting to filter into this pack. He really just wants to be on the inside lane at all times. He wants to be up here where maybe the 42 is, like the 48, the 42 are, where they could just be bound towards the front. Nichols tight in the middle lane. Drops back with the 77. Luigi off the top side trying to get clear. Here comes Jonathan Buford in the 33 to the bottom lane down the back stretch. Cole Luigi does clear for a second. We're coming to 15 laps to go. Pit stops are going to happen very shortly. We're going to see cars start to hit pit road at any moment. Marcus Sacchi, Cole Luigi get clear 1-2. Jonathan Buford for 3rd. No cars hit that time. Keep it out on the racetrack for now. We'll see who's going to be the first to hit pit road. It's going to be someone towards the back of the field. Will be someone at the front. Does maybe TJ Hanley decide, maybe I'm not safe where I am and come down pit road early to try and gain any spot he can. It's all going to come down to how the pit crew can perform as they go through 3 and 4. 14 to go this time by. The front two stay out. The front pack stays out. Hanley looking 3 wide in the 7 and the 22, along with the 77. Look at Trey Rainey drive down to the bottom lane as Eli Bright and the 88 popped the outside one. I saw some people blocking back there in the pack. Hanley through right is going to be our highest chaser again as he moves around the 7 and the 22. Down the back stretch. Sachi and Coluigi pull away. We're coming to 13 to go. Pit stops will happen this lap. I can believe. As we go through 3 and 4. Front few staying out. Once again, the front pack stays on the racetrack. As cars will now start to hit pit road. Cars stay high. Cars have hit the pits. It may have been Colton Yo the only one that came down the 37 car. As for the lead, Coluigi moves up on Marcus Sachi. Looks like Sebastian Kukulon at the back of the field, the only one to come down. So everyone, still waiting. We're coming to 12 to go this time. Will they start to hit pit road this time? And who will stay out? Luigi definitely come down this time. I can see him. Marcus Sachi, late entrance. He's going to come down. Stapleton had to slow up. And some cars hitting the pits. And once again, more staying out on the racetrack. As cars going everywhere trying to get to the pit road. Do a great job at that, but cars have stayed on the racetrack. Nathan Stapleton, one of them. Stapleton really got slowed down there. He lost a ton of time. So Griffin Lynn will be a race leader in the 7 car. But once again, he has to make a green flag pit stop. And we're coming to 11 to go. I assume most of the others will come down pit road this time. Jack Marshall trying to gain everything he can to pit road. Contact with Zidell there. Does anyone dare stay out? I'll tell you what to lock them up, getting into the pits. No one stays on the racetrack for another lap. So Sachi leaves in the 41 car. Coluigi is well leaving. TJ Hanley will come out of the pits. Great stop by that 23 crew. He's going to leave now ahead of the 34. And now Marcus Sachi ahead of the 42 of Coluigi. See if Kukulon maybe gained some time there. We saw him come down a lap sooner. He was the only one that did. We'll have to see. He's just come up now. I believe there may have been an issue on that 3 car for why he came down. So we'll see now where the 30 of Car Friesen comes out in relation to some of the other chasers. He's leaving now. Chasers behind him, the 2 of Luke Rainey. The 31 of Steven Taylor. That may be it. So here comes the rest of the field coming off. Marcus Sachi, where's he at in the 41? Can he beat these drivers off like Jake West, Griffin Lynn? Here comes Marcus Sachi. He's trying to get around right here. And he will. So Marcus Sachi to the race lead. Jake West trying to come forward in the 14 to second. But Coluigi is on the outside lane. He's going to get by to second place. Now he has the task of trying to run down the 41 of Marcus Sachi. As they go through 3 and 4. We're coming to 10 laps to go on the season. Marcus Sachi with a dominant lead right now here in the Chevy 400. Out front by a great distance over Coluigi in the 42. As pit stops still cycle through, we will wait to update you on where everyone's positions are. But right now, TJ Hanley is, I believe, the second highest chaser. He would get 11 points. We're looking to see where Carter Friesen is. He right now has Steven Taylor behind him and Luke Rainey. Friesen right now would get 3 points. And with Hanley getting 11, the championship would be decided by 1 point. But now Hanley gets 12 points right there. Is it all over for is it all over for Carter Friesen as TJ Hanley's just grabbed a position from Griffin Lynn? He's up to 6th. And with under 10 to go, it's going to be hard for Carter Friesen to gain all those spots that he needs to gain. He's looking on 3 wide for 3rd. Jake West up the racetrack. Zidell in the middle. Steve Morgan to the bottom. TJ Hanley thinks that maybe the middle is the place, but he goes to the middle lane. And driver we've not talked about, how about Blake Petrus? His first Gary Cup Series race, and that's 96 car, plays Stephen Baker. Here he's now inside the top 10. He can fight for a top 5 before it's all said and done. 8 to go. So as they're 3 wide all over the place inside this front pack, there are only 2 chasers up here. The other chasers are back here. Trey Rainey's out of touch with that pack. They have Patrick Smith and Jack Marshall also out of touch. And we're also not updating on the race lead because there's not really much happening. Marcus Sachi leads by 1.5 seconds over Coluigi. It would take some mere disaster out of the 41 to have something go right for the 42 of Coluigi. So Luigi takes the stripe. That's 7 to go. He closed the gap by a 10th there. If you keep doing that, it might be all right because once he gets in the draft, he will propel him closer together. Luigi wants to win badly. We mentioned this is his best track statistically in the Gary Cup Series, and he's yet to win this season. Could this be the race where he finds victory lane? Race number 38 of the season. We're going to look for Carter Friesen once again in the running order. This is very crucial towards this championship. Friesen still has not gained any positions on chasers. He's still only ahead of Luke Rainey and Steven Taylor. And Hanley, right now, just a second. It's going to be close. Right now, Friesen gets 3 points. Hanley gets 11. That's a difference of 8 points. That's 1 point for TJ Hanley. That'd be a 1 point. As they go through 3 and 4. Marcus Sacchi. This is it for him. 5 laps left in the Gary Cup Series, season number 7. Marcus Sacchi leading Cole Luigi, but Luigi has cut the gap to under a second. It's down to under 9/10 of a second. Cole Luigi is getting a little bit of a draft from the 20s. Idell as well. But can they run down 5 laps is the question. And will anything happen to the 23 or any other chasers to try and impact how this championship goes? We'll take away from the battle for the lead just for a little bit. Carter Friese just come off turn number 2. There's the 2. There's 2 more Hendrick cars. Then there is the 31 battling back here. So Marcus Sacchi leads. He has 4 laps left, but Cole Luigi's down to half a second. It's going to come down to Marcus Sacchi, Cole Luigi, Justin Zeidel, John Gambit. 5th on back are in a battle with themselves. John Beaver now going to try and run them down. TJ Hanley right now is the highest chaser and 12th. As they go through 3 and 4, Luigi in the 42 using that high lane, trying to make sure the 20 stays behind him. This time by 3 laps of racing to go, and the Chevy 400 at Homestead. Marcus Sacchi leads the race, but they're there. Luigi peeking to the inside to turn 1. Little tap the racetrack for him. He's going to fall back. Zeidel and John Gambit going to move to the inside. But they're still there. They're in the draft of the 41. Down the backstretch. They race. We're coming to see 2 laps of racing to go. Zeidel, John Gambit bound for second now. Luigi back in 4th. Can he try and get back up here? Here it is. 2 laps left in the Gary Cup Series season. 3 miles left. Marcus Sacchi leads. Meanwhile, TJ Hanley's control the championship. Zeidel going to get clear right here in the 20 car. We'll see if he can run down Marcus Sacchi in the time he has, a lap and a half. It's about 2.2 miles that he has left to try and run down Marcus Sacchi. As they battle for 3rd, Luigi to the inside, John Gambit. We're coming through 3 and 4. This is the white flag on the season. The white flag on the Gary Cup Series season. The last lap is underway at Homestead. Marcus Sacchi leads. Zeidel is there in the 20 cars, peeking. Can he get a run through 1-2 and make it stick? John Gambit in 3rd in case these front 2 get side by side. Again with a great run on Zeidel as they come off of turn number 2. Carter Friese has not made up any ground. The 38. He is still behind chasers. Off into turn 3 for Marcus Sacchi. He got out front at the right time. No one could run him down. They tried. They couldn't get it done. Marcus Sacchi win the race. And 7 seasons for TJ Hanley will result in a championship. Hanley has won the season 7 Gary Cup Series championship over Carter Friesen. We have to confirm this. Here's Friesen as they go through turn 3 and 4. 32nd for the 38 car. Ahead of the 88, the 5, and the 2. He only finished ahead of Luke Rainey, only ahead of the 31 Taylor. So as Marcus Sacchi wins, the championship will go to TJ Hanley. He did what he needed to do, and he had help with him. Carter Friesen could not get up to the front. Hanley wins the championship for season number 7. He's been around since race 1. And TJ Hanley will finally get the fruit of his labor as he's won it with the 23 team, that first season with that 23 team, and he does it. Let's now go see the finish results and see how the chase played out. Here are the finish results for the Chevy 400 at the Homestead Miami Speedway. There were no caution flags and 13 lead changes among 6 different drivers, so it's definitely a calm Homestead race, but once again, produced great racing as always. Marcus Sacchi wins the race. He led the most laps. He definitely had the best car, led 22. It's about more than half the race. Sacchi wins, and he held off Zeidel at the end. John Gambit, Cole Luigi all came up to the front. Luigi, you think that maybe he had the second best car, maybe the same, maybe just about as good as car as Marcus Sacchi's. And Luigi there at the end was running down the 41, got passed though by the Toyotas. And he falls back to 4th. Still could not get that win in the season, but once again, he just came to the front. He showed that once again he does have that championship. He will be back next season. And if Jake West rang at the top 5, that was a great result. A season that was not great for West, and he ended on a high note. That's definitely always sweet for him. Now Jonathan Beaver in 6th, TJ Hanley 7th. He locks up the championship by 2 points over Carter Friesen with that 7th place finish. If he would have gone past by Griffin Lynn, wouldn't have mattered. Lynn ends up 8th. Hanley was still won by 1 point. They have Steve Morgan 9th, and Blake Petrus runs up the top 10. Your first Gary Cup Series career race, and you end up 10th. That's not bad for the rookie in that 96 car. So there's your top 20. You can see how far back 11th on back were, as the top 10 really had separated themselves at the end because of those pit stops. Galloway led the second pack, 11th, still looking for that first career Gary Cup Series victory, but those last 12 races showed that he could do it. I would not always be surprised to see him back next season and win multiple races. He was just that good at the end of the season. How about Trey Rainey? Started 42nd up to 13th, showed that he could move to the front if your car was good enough. Octavo as well, Fink. All these cars start towards back. How about Steve Larker? 18th down to... He started first down to 18th. And looking at the rest, you can see Alexander Rowe, and these drivers down here, they just do not have the cars here tonight. So a lot of these drivers failed to get great finishes. You can see really the top 30, and then there's 31st, 32nd, 33rd on down. Tough break. And how about Steven Taylor came in third in points? That's definitely going to hurt him in his chase. Carter Friesen does hang on to second there, so luckily, even though that bad finish was, was really bad for Carter, still really held on to second there. So once again, Carter Friesen, a great season for him as well. Came out of nowhere in the chase. He definitely showed that he has a championship potential. I can't wait to see him back next season, see what he can do there. As you look down, 41st and 42nd, the only cars off the lead lap, Riley Sampson and Taylor Bryan Price. So as we always do each season, even though it doesn't matter, we'll go look at the full season points, see how that was shaked out, and see how it compares to how the champion was in the chase format. Would have played out exactly the same, except TJ Hanley would have dominated a lot more. Hanley ends the season with a solid 4,500 points. Exactly, 4,500 points. And would have won the championship by 313 points under this format. However, Hanley still wins it under the chase format. So it doesn't matter either way. Hanley was just consistent throughout the whole season, and he made it work at the right time. He got very lucky. Friesen had a few bad races towards the end of the chase. Really, it started with race 7, and then he came back at Talladega, where he showed that he still had that championship potential. Once again, faltered these last 2 races, Atlanta and Homestead. Just did not go right for him at all. So TJ Hanley would have won either way. As look at the right side, these are the point standings. TJ Hanley ends it out with the championship. How sweet for him. 7 races in the Gary Cup Series. He had never even been close to a championship. The closest he's been with a new team, BK Racing. His first season with the team, he ends up winning the championship by 2 points over Carter Friesen, who also was with a new team. Once again, just cannot... Those two did a great job throughout the chase. They were battling each other. I knew it was probably going to come down to those two, but it looked like Friesen may have had it there, but just obviously that bad starting position maybe just could never get up to the front. So Friesen does it up second in points with 88 points. Third in points goes to actually Louis-Jacques Tavo with 82. Fourth goes to Griffin Lynn. He made it out there at the end. He was actually tied with the A3. Once again, the A3, this is how we break the tiebreakers. Higher in full season points. He was 4th. Griffin was 7th. So we look down after the 7 car at the top 5, Jack Marshall. That's a great top 5 spot for him there in the points. He kind of came out of nowhere there in that final race. 6th place in points goes to Luke Raines, a 3-way tie for 6th, but Rainey higher in the full season with 5th. 7th, Trey Rainey. So the Rainies finished 6th and 7th. That's not too bad for them. Obviously, they will have wanted more, but they'll be back next season, I can only imagine. Steven Taylor in 8th. He fell all the way from 3rd to 8th there at the end with that bad finish. In 9th place in points, Alexander Rowe. Rounding out the top 10, Danny Lloyd as well. And then Patrick Smith does move his way up to 11th. He's had a horrible chase, but moves his way up to 11th there at the end. And Max Anderson will have finished 2nd in full season points, but falls to 12th here in the final chase standings. So as we look at some of the stats here, most top 10s, far and away, TJ Hanley. He got 16 top 10s. A big surprise, tied for the second most top 10s, goes to Jack Marshall, who was 8th in points, and Cole Luigi, 15th in points, and was nowhere near the chase at all this season. Most top 5s, 9, John Gambit, out of nowhere, 9 top 5s. We talked about, he was a quiet driver this season, but somehow he did make it work, and even though he didn't make the chase, he came up there in those last 12 races to end up 6th with the most points. We talked about how Cole Luigi did have 14 top 10s, the second most of anyone. Those 11 DNFs hurt him. He didn't get any wins, and with 11 DNFs, obviously hindered how his performance could have gone. Imagine if he had a few less DNFs. So he had like 2 or 3 less DNFs, how much of a factor he could have been for the championship. Most wins, obviously, it's a big tie there with 3. TJ Hanley with 3. Jack Marshall, Danny Lloyd, Steven Taylor, Eli Bright, Sebastian Kukulon. That's a few rookies there with 3 wins. Danny Lloyd, Steven Taylor, Sebastian Kukulon. They have some of the veterans. Eli Bright, Jack Marshall, TJ Hanley with 3 wins. So it just showed anyone could perform here this season. As we look down now, 21st to 40th. See some other drivers down here with a good amount of top 10s and whatnot. Just was not their seasons. So with all these DNFs, 11 DNFs there. 13 for Benny Watson. Somehow still 35th. Had Jonathan Raines. And Raines obviously not having a great season as well. 46 behind Stephen Baker, and Baker didn't even start at Homestead. So it shows Jonathan Raines only 1 top 10 on the season, 70 DNFs. It was just a season that he wants to forget. See James Dablio there. He didn't start all the races. And look down, really, most of these subs down here. Dash Bourne for 2 races. Blake Petrus for a race. Marcus Sachi for 5. Derek Bouchard for 9. Jones, Greg Lee, both for 10. Andrew Miller, 18 races. Johnny Gardner, 20. So that was it. That's it for Gary Cup Series, season number 7. I thank everyone for watching. Thank everyone for everything, all the support, for signing up, for watching, even if you didn't sign up. It was a great season. I can't wait to be back next season for season number 8. Obviously, it's going to be a wild season. I have to thank once again everyone for making paint schemes. You had Jay Jefferson, I believe he made some. You know, Cole Luigi, TJ Hanley, Luke Rainey. You had so many drivers make paint schemes. Derek Hamill, I believe, made some. You know, I can't even count. You know, Danny Lloyd. There's so many drivers. There's so many drivers, so many people that made paint schemes. If I forget, Carter Friesen. I don't know how I forgot Carter. You finished second in points, Carter. I don't know how I forgot you, but you also got a lot. I just can't, you know, imagine all the people that made the paint schemes. There were so many. I have to thank each and every one of you. Even if I didn't name your name, I still have to thank you for making these paint schemes and just, you know, supporting the series. That really helps the series go a long way. More paint schemes makes the series better, in my opinion. That's more variety for the drivers and a lot, you know, different each race. But once again, I have to thank everyone. Thanks to TJ Henley for making the race logos. Obviously, he does that every season since, what was it, season 3 or season 4. Great job there on those. Once again, TJ. And he won the championship. Once again, Hanley, your season 7 Gary Cup Series champion. He joins the likes of Kevin Bandon, of Michael Gregory, of Jeff Bright, of Benoit Lothair Irvine. I messed that up a little bit. Cole Luigi, Griffin Lynn. And the last 3 seasons, the driver who's won the championship also scored the most points throughout the full season. Just shows how fair this chase format is. So as I thank everyone for watching, I see you guys for sign-ups and all that, sign-up videos and, you know, sign-up date announcements and all that. I can't wait for that to start. You know, I really want to get started as soon as possible. So maybe sometime during August we could see some sign-ups happening. So once again, thank you all for watching the Gary Cup Series Season number 7. Congratulations to TJ Henley once again on winning the Gary Cup Series Season number 7 championship. And I will see you guys for the next season.